Hi there, and welcome to our top score writing lesson today. My name is Mrs. Zabo, and I'm going to be your teacher for this lesson. We are in section 2, lesson 25 in second grade informative writing. So let's review what we learned in the previous lesson and then get right to the lesson today. So, in the previous lesson, we were talking about how to plan for our informative prompts. And planning, we always use for an informative prompt an ITC outline. So here's your ITC outline. Remember, your I and your C are always the same. You have T1, T2, T3. Those are your big middle paragraphs. Those three topics come from the passage set. And then you have your A's and your B's for each T1, T2, and T3. Those are your examples and details that you're going to focus on about each of those topics. So this is our ITC outline, and we had plenty of practice with that in the previous lesson. So today we will learn how to write the introduction paragraph for an informative essay. When we talk about the introduction paragraph, this is our I paragraph. It's the first paragraph of our essay. So the introduction paragraph is the first paragraph in your essay, and there are many ways to structure this paragraph. So we're just going to show you one of those ways, but there are many ways that you could write this. The key is to make sure you introduce the controlling idea and the topics that will be discussed in the essay. So you're going to focus on that main topic that you're going to teach your reader about, as well as the topics that you come up with from the text that you are talking about based upon that main topic. So your I paragraph structure. If you need to, go ahead and pause this video right now so that you have this structure in your notebook. Alrighty, so you should have written the structure for an I paragraph. It is very similar to the I structure of an expository prompt or expository essay. The first thing that you need in your I paragraph is your hook. Remember, that is your sentence that grabs the reader's attention. Then you have your three topic sentence. These are your three topics that you come up with from your plan that are from the text. And then you have your closing statement. So this is just a general broad statement that typically ends the paragraph and allows the reader to flow right into the T1 paragraph. So this is just only one way to structure your I paragraph. There are many ways, but we show you this way. So let's go through these components. Do you remember what a hook is? We talked about it in section 1. Yes, your hook grabs the reader's attention. So you can do a question, you can restate the prompt, you can provide a statement about the topic, you can use an anecdote, you can use a lot of different things to grab your reader's attention. So let's see what we can use as we practice when we are going through the ice skating and what is soccer passages. So remember, we already planned for this, and I'm going to turn it over to my document camera so that you can see that plan again. So here is our plan that we came up with based upon the sports prompt. And so we had passages about skate sports as well as soccer. So this was our plan. Obviously, it was inform your reader about sports. So I and C are sports. Then our T1, we talked about skate sports, figure skating, and speed skating. Other skate athletics like ringette and hockey. And then soccer, how to play it and how it helps. So this was our plan that we came up with. Now we are going to write our introduction paragraph today. So we have this plan, and we need to start off with a hook. So I want to show you some different hook examples that can help you kind of think about what you're going to do or what you're going to use for this prompt. So we could ask a question. So some question examples could be, did you know there are many different sports you can play? Or how much do you really know about sports? Or did you know that ice skating and soccer are two very different but fun sports to play? So we could grab our reader with a question like this. Or we could just restate the prompt. We could say there are many things to learn about sports, or learning about different sports is interesting. Or we could just make a statement. We could say sports are very interesting. Sports are fun to play. So these are ways that we grab our reader's attention. So let's go ahead and let's pick one of these examples in order to use it on our paper for our I paragraph. So think about it. What could we use? A question, a statement, restating the prompt? I like to keep it simple. So let's go with a question. So I'm going to start my hook off with a question. And remember, I always indent, which is a 2-finger rule. So I put my 2 fingers here. It's the space that's always on the first line of each new paragraph. So I want to say, did you know there are many different sports you can play? So I'm going to start right here. Did you know there are a lot of different sports you can play? So I'm going to use that question hook. So I need a question mark. As you can see, that indent or that space is only on the first line of my paragraph. So whenever I start a new paragraph, I have that 2-finger space there. So I have a hook, and I always like to underline my hook in red. I always color code when I'm not writing an official essay so that I know that I have that component. So my hook is always in red, so that tells me I have one color. Therefore, I only have one component of my I paragraph. So there is my hook, my first component. Did anyone remember what the second component is? Very similar to an expository prompt, but instead we're teaching, we're informing. So what sentence is that called? Yes, it's your 3-topic sentence. Instead of our 3 reasons, like in section 1, we are going to do our 3-topic sentence. So where do we get our topics? Up here. So we have our topic 1, skate sports, topic 2, other skate athletics, and topic 3, soccer. So we need to put this in a sentence or maybe 2 sentences if we need to in order for it to make sense, so that we state the topics that we are going to focus on within this essay. So I am going to say some interesting things about sports, some interesting things about sports are that there there are skate sports, other skate athletics, and soccer. So I created one sentence that states all 3 of the topics that I'm going to focus on. As you can see, I have skate sports, other skate athletics, and soccer up here. And it's in the same order down here in my sentence. I also had to add some words for it to make sense. I couldn't just say sports include skate sports, other skate athletics, and soccer. I made it sound a little bit better by adding some words so that it creates flow. So I said some interesting things about sports are that there are skate sports, other skate athletics, and soccer. It just flows, right? So I am going to always underline my three topic sentence in blue. So I have two colors here, which tells me that I have two components of my I paragraph. Perfect. So what is the last component of an I paragraph? Do you remember? It's the same as with an expository prompt. Yes, it's your closing statement. It's just a broad sentence or a broad statement about the topic that allows the reader to flow into the next paragraph. So I'm going to use in both ice skating sports and soccer, teams compete against each other to win. So in both ice skating sports and soccer, teams compete against each other to win. Excellent. So just a broad statement about these types of sports that kind of ends my paragraph. So I have my third component in my I paragraph, and I always put my closing statement in green. So I have three different colors, which tells me that I have all three components of my I paragraph. So let's kind of read it because I always make sure that I go back to reread things that I missed maybe, or if my capitalization isn't there or my punctuation isn't there, I can just go back and check to make sure it makes sense and that everything is there. So, did you know there are a lot of different sports you can play? Some interesting things about sports are that there are skate sports, other skate athletics, and soccer. In both ice skating sports and soccer, teams compete against each other to win. Sounds good, right? It makes sense. It flows. We have our indent. We have our punctuation marks. So everything looks really good. Do you see how we did that? Alrighty. So I'm going to switch back to our lesson so that we can continue forward. So I want you to show me what you know. I want you to take out the guided practice pages for lesson 25. And if you look at the guided practice, it has you using the Sea Lions and All About Seals passages. This guided practice has you fill in the plan that we did in the previous lesson. So we already planned for Right to Inform Your Reader About Sea Mammals. We already planned that. So you should be able to easily fill in your plan here. Then after you have your plan there, you want to create an I paragraph. So you're going to take the time to write a hook, a three topic sentence that makes sense, and your closing statement. So go ahead, pause this video right now, get out those passages on seals and sea lions, and write your I paragraph. When you're done, come back to me. All right, you should have completed your introduction paragraph on seals and sea lions. So let's self-assess. You should have it right in front of you. I want you to get your highlighters out because I want you to color code them in highlighter. So looking at the key, I want you to take your yellow highlighter and highlight it in yellow with the hook. So just the hook in yellow, just to show you that you have a hook and that it's there in your I paragraph. Then I want you to take a green highlighter and I want you to highlight in green your 3-topic sentence. And then in blue highlighter, I want you to highlight your closing statement. So you should see 3 separate colors. Now, I don't want you to add anything right now. Just keep it the way it is because we're analyzing and looking at it. So let's reflect. Looking at your introduction, I want you to ask yourself, what did you do well on? Do you have all 3 of your components? Does it make sense? What did you forget? Do you see 3 colors or do you only have 2 colors? That tells you you're forgetting one of your components. And then what can you do better? Is there something that just doesn't fit in there? Think about it. Now let's revise. Start at the top of the list and work your way down until the timer goes off. So if you have a timer, set it for about 5 minutes. If you forgot something, I want you to add it right now. If you made a mistake, I want you to fix it. So any of those mistakes that you need to fix, this is the time to do so. Check for capitalization, spelling, and clarity. And did you remember everything? Change a word, add a detail or description, make it more interesting. So go ahead and revise that I paragraph right now. Excellent work today, guys. It's okay to not know. It's not okay to not try. The only reason that we are practicing and trying so hard is just to get better, right? And you're doing that right now. So excellent work today. I will be seeing you in the next lesson.